Okay. Hello. Been a while since I've done a video, so I had to do some jewelry anyway that I had to redo. So I figured I'd go ahead and do a video. So all of these were pendants that I had done before, and for some reason or another, a fair bit of air ended up underneath the glass. So yeah, I decided to take them apart and redo them. Now to do that, you just soak them in water for a few hours or overnight, and then you can kind of pry all of it apart. But I noticed when I did that with these, on not all of them, the owl's still pretty good, the oval's still pretty good, but these, which are my oldest ones, had a little bit of, you know, tarnishing and stuff. The backs are fine. None of these have ever had any issues with people wearing them in it tarnishing or, you know, turning their skin green. But I guess something to do with where the diamond glaze had touched it, I guess, made that happen. So to be on the safe side, for all of these, I went ahead and I sealed them all front and back with some clear coat spray. So that way I can be extra sure that nothing is going to happen when I redo these. So I've got 4 pendants, and then I'm going to go ahead and, since I already pre-cut my paints, I'm going to go ahead and do one set of earrings that will go with this one, which is a beautiful red, and it has some black and silver and white and stuff. So yeah, that way you guys can kind of see how I do it without, you know, me taking a whole lot of time to do all of them. So I have my paint skin here. Hopefully the lighting's pretty good. I'm using my LED lamps that I'll be using at one of my events because it gets dark and it's outside. So I figured it was better than the lighting we have in here. So I have a hole punch that is usually used for scrapbooking. This one is the size for my earrings, and then this one is the 1-inch one for the pendants. Obviously the oval one I do not have a punch for. I have to just hand cut it with my X-Acto knife. Now, at least with the 1-inch one, it's not perfectly exact, so after you cut them out, you will have to put the glass on top and trim that little bit of edge that'll be there so it fits properly. But it's still, I think, easier to initially punch it out with your circle punch, so you're not having to deal with, you know, a giant piece of paint skin while fine-tuning. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and, before I do this, I am going to try setting one of my lamps a little higher so that as I lift stuff, hopefully, yeah, you can still see it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this piece right here because it has kind of the same properties that are there, and we're going to use my punch. I'm going to find what looks good. So I think usually when you use these with like scrapbooking, you put it in your piece of paper, okay, like that, and then you punch out. But so you can still see what part of the paint skin you're getting exactly, I just flip it upside down and do it, and it works great. Go ahead and lift one of my other lamps up real quick, so that I have one that's a little higher. Sorry. I thought I was pretty prepared. Apparently not. Not as much as I thought I was. Okay, that looks a little better for you guys. This one can go back down, I think. Yeah. You guys can see, I think. Okay. I apologize if any of this is not easy to see or anything like that. I apologize in advance. I haven't made a whole lot of videos, so I'm still learning what looks good video-wise, so that I'm doing this where you guys are seeing it as well as me being able to see what I'm doing. I think I'll go ahead and, you know what, let me do that one. I may actually do a different one for that first one. Yeah, definitely. Gotta do a different one. Now, this is a paint skin that is not runoff from one of my paintings, actually. It is just a paint skin that I made by putting down a piece of plastic from like a trash bag and making paint skins. Red is a very popular color, so since I needed more of it anyway, and I didn't really need to make a red painting at the time, I just made some skins. And I made a lot because I misjudged how much I had when I mixed my paint. So, okay, now, this is Diamond Glaze. It is not in its original bottle, which is this, because for a lot of the areas where there's just a little bit of gap or something like that, I have a lot more precision with this little needle tip. Technically it was a e-cig juice bottle, but it had never been used. It was still, you know, new and clean, and I had the brilliant idea of using it for this, and I'm so glad I did, because it has made quite a bit of things easier. Not only that, but because this is, if you squeeze all the air out of it so it's nice and tight, you know, this is directly against the tip of it, which means I don't have to dig out all the dry stuff each time I open it like I do with the original bottle. So we'll go ahead and do this one first. I always forget I gotta check and make sure you guys can see. Just kind of spread this out. Make sure I have it on the edges. This is the one thing this isn't as good for as the other is, since it's such a tiny tip, it's not the best for spreading it out. It still works, it just takes a little bit longer. Because even though I know once I put the paint skin on it'll spread out, I want to at least get it started so we don't have a ton oozing out on one side or the other. And luckily my red paint skins I had made turned out really smooth. You know, for the most part, other than this weird little ripple here. So for the most part, I don't have to worry about, like my normal runoff, having areas that are thicker and thinner and uneven, and then having to somehow compensate when making jewelry out of that piece for those height and thickness differences or texture differences. So this will make some really nice jewelry since it's such an even skin. Now, unfortunately, I do have a fair bit of air bubbles here, but hopefully I can like pop most of them. I don't know why I have so many air bubbles in my little bottle here. Another downside to this bottle is it does seem to get more air than the original bottle, which is not great, obviously. Just gotta try and pop some of these bigger ones. We'll bring them to the side. You guys still see? Okay, so I think I have enough diamond glaze on here that the little tiny bubbles that are left shouldn't be a problem, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and try putting the glass on. I need to try and make this a relatively quick video because I need to get dinner taken care of, and my daughter, I'm sure, will be up soon from her nap. So. Yeah, I definitely had a lot of diamond glaze. I'll probably go by with this one afterwards with some like glasses cleaning solution, so it's basically alcohol, and clean up some of the excess that came out. I'm not so worried about the excess on the glass. That I usually get off by using my X-Acto knife later, once it's all dry. Because it's kind of like, if you have a glass stove top, you use the blade to kind of scrape off any of the gunk on your stove. Similar principle, as long as you're careful with the angle of your blade and the pressure you're putting, you will not have an issue with having, you know, cuts or anything like that in your glass. So just be mindful if you do it that way. But that's the way I prefer to do it when it comes to the glass, because I know it'll be clean, and I know I don't have to worry so much about any kind of cleaning solution getting under it. That's always my biggest worry. I worry that if I use a cleaning solution on the whole thing, that it's gonna seep in underneath and, you know, undo the glue happening. So, but since this has so many intricate little things on it, I'm gonna try cleaning most of it off of the metal. Because that's not as easy on a pendant like this to get off with the X-Acto knife, because there's just so many little holes and detail. So I'm just cleaning this off real quick, hopefully real quick anyway. I think after this one, before I do another pendant, I'll go ahead and do the earrings, so that if I have to cut this video short before I finish all of this, you can at least see some pendants being made and the earrings being made. I wanted to start this video way earlier today, but life. Just life happens, you know. You know how it goes. So yeah, I wanted to start this like an hour before now, but that didn't happen, obviously. So, there is that. Hopefully the earrings will be a little less trouble for me. I'll probably do this one next with it, since they are going to match. Okay, that's how I wanted to face. Okay. Luckily, these guys don't take a whole lot. Can you still see? I apologize also if, when I get a little closer, my hands or the jewelry blur. I know it keeps wanting to like focus and unfocus. Maybe if I hold it like that, hopefully you guys can see. It's a little weird on my end, but I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing, so I'm trying to be more considerate of what you guys see. That's a little better. Had to angle my lamp here. Okay, so what you may not see off screen here is before I actually squeeze out diamond glaze on here, I am getting it started on the paper towel so that if what comes out initially is nothing but air, I'm not putting that on here. Just a little tip for y'all. Hopefully that helps you. Okay, now I'm gonna have to stop holding it like that. I need to hold it like this. Okay, so here's going to be kind of what I was talking about with the precision. So there's a little bit of gap here, right there. And on that side of it, it didn't have any diamond glaze come up. So I want to very carefully, without getting it everywhere, just put a little bit of diamond glaze in there. Fill that little gap. Now, if I had tried this with the original bottle it comes in, there would be diamond glaze everywhere, and it would be horrible. But with this, I do not have that issue. I can be a lot more precise and only have a tiny bit that ends up outside on the jewelry or the glass. And voila. There is one of the earrings. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to make sure in that little lip of an edge it has that there's diamond glaze on all edges, so that hopefully I do not have to add more after the glass is on. In theory, anyway, that's my goal. It's not always what happens, but it's the goal. I'm gonna try and get these air bubbles out, because generally when I do earrings, I know about how much I need to put on, so I don't have a whole lot of excess that's gonna come out, which would push those air bubbles out of there. So, which is good, because I mean, then I don't have near as much mess. But this is the one downside, is that it doesn't push the air bubbles out. So you gotta make do. But I've made so much jewelry that for the most part I know how much I need to use and how it'll work, and I don't take near as long to make stuff as I did when I started all of this, because I know what I'm doing better. Which is also why I have been able to start bringing blanks that I have for pendants and earrings and such, and at events where I'm a vendor, crafter, whatever you want to call it, I'm able to make some custom stuff on the spot, which hasn't happened very much yet, but I'm hoping that'll help entice people to come to my booth. I think so far I made a keychain for one person, and I don't think I made anything else for anyone at an event. But I did make a keychain. He wanted one of the squares with purple in it, so I was able to make that for him. Other than that, not so much. But the option is always there. And at my last event, yeah, I actually had some downtime because it was really slow. There was another huge festival going on that weekend, and I didn't really think that through when I had set up this event, or, you know, signed up to be at this one. Because it was just so far out, so many months out, that I didn't realize it coincided with, like, the biggest event here ever, which is Festival of Little Hills in St. Charles, and that's a lot of people. So, was not a smart cookie on that one. But it still worked out. I still, in the end, made a decent little bit. I definitely broke even, which is always the first goal. I was the last booth standing because it was slow enough that, like, almost everyone started leaving early. But I don't do that ever. So I was the last booth standing, and I made sales, which is why I don't pack up early, because I need every opportunity possible. Little advice for you guys: if you do events, do not follow the trend of other people leaving early just because it's slow. Every event I have done that people packed up early because it started getting slow, or had been slow the whole time, whichever, any event I have been at that happened, I stayed till the very end, either till the time it was supposed to be scheduled till, or until they kicked me out. Okay. And at every one of those, I made sales after I was the last booth there. So, a little bit of advice for any of you who do vendor or crafter events: stick with it. Just because you're the last one there doesn't mean you gotta leave, unless that time it was supposed to be over at comes, or they kick you out, whichever happens first. You never know who might come by from you. Alright, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. Unfortunately, I didn't get everything done, but I will get them done at some point today. I just need to take care of dinner and my daughter and stuff. Probably go ahead and clean this up a little first so I can show you how it looks. Oh. There's a little insight to what I was talking about for how I clean it. I'm not gonna fine tune it, but I'm gonna get most of the stuff on top off of there just to show you guys real quick because I need to get off. Okay, so, oh, and ironically, everything I did was red, so that works out pretty cool. All right, here is what I've got done. I'll be doing these others later, but in the meantime, feel free to share, like. I'm going to post a link to I'm going to try and post a link to my PayPal and my Facebook. If you would like to just donate to help me create more art / decor / jewelry, feel free. You're not obligated to do that. That's just if you feel like doing that. But that, donations or even purchases help me make more and hopefully do more videos in the future and stuff like that. And it helps me as a stay-at-home mom support my daughter and help with, finances and bills and stuff. But, yeah. Like this video, share this video. I will try and make more videos, I promise. I haven't made a whole lot, but I promise I'm going to start trying to make more. Alright, you guys. Love you all, and please subscribe. Thanks.